Live from Latrobe Motorsports Studios, this is Ride Along with Howie, from the fast half-mile track at Latrobe Speedway, where it's grassroots racing at its finest. Here's Howie.
Race fans, you know what time it is? Who's ready for a ride along? Ride Along with Howie, sponsored by S&B Promotion and Joe's Auto Body and Towing out of Fairbank, Pennsylvania, is ready to get started. Our first guest tonight, feature winner last Saturday night in a modified four-cylinder, won by about, a quarter of a fender, and I think that's really pushing it. We're going to talk to Dale Grubbs, pilot of the Hodge transmission, car number 66. Dale, welcome to Ride Along.
Thanks, Howie.
Hey, I got to tell you, man, on behalf of all the fans, we owe you and Jeremy a big thank you. That was a hell of a race you guys did.
Yeah, that was close. I watched a couple videos my wife had, and it looked like the fans liked it. The one video you could see everybody standing up as we were just coming down the front stretch, so that'd be pretty exciting.
Now, it seemed like you were trying to keep your car on the bottom, and with one lap to go, Jeremy was able to come down the front stretch and get under you, but you were able to adapt. You couldn't get the line necessarily you wanted, but you found a pretty good line, got traction, and like I said, when you guys came off four, I knew that was going to be a hell of a finish.
Yeah, when he tucked under there going into turn one there, when we took the white flag, I was surprised to see him. I didn't know where he came from, and I don't know. I just held it to the floor and hoped it turned coming out of 3 and 4, and it did. So
now you guys don't have any mirrors. You do run the one-way receiver radio, but they're not giving you like, hey, they're 66, 62 is one car length behind. So it's basically you out there by yourself. Do you get a feel like if there's a car by you, or is just when all the safety gear, your earplugs and your horns and that, you don't necessarily know until they're literally in eye view?
yeah, you can sometimes hear them coming up, and then usually when they get right beside the door, I can start seeing them out of like my peripheral vision and stuff. So I'll know.
Now, for those fans who aren't on Facebook, probably last week at this time, you were putting out a message, and Jeremy put out a message, hey, we're done. Our season's over. And then Saturday night, you guys were running 1-2. So was that just mind games you were playing, or, just didn't want to go out that way? Don't tell me your secret, but if it was a mind game, it was an awesome one.
I really want it to be done, but like my daughter, I don't know, she has an obsession with the racetrack. I don't know why. And last year when we blew the good motor, she cried because I told her we were done. And I don't know, I just I couldn't quit just giving up that easy,
Now, your car, it seems like early in the year, one of the fastest cars there. 2 years in a row, you won opening night. This past Saturday was your fourth career win. How come it comes out of the gate so fast? Just the maintenance, or you guys know the car is good?
Last year, lucky enough to get our engine done, so that's why it was so good at the beginning of the year. And then I got kind of crazy and switched some cams up and made my own valve clearance by bending all the valves and trashing some pistons. So
how did that work out?
Not very good. So that's why I kind of fell off there towards the end of the year. We were running junkyard engines, and then that engine we ran opening night, it come from a junkyard a week before, and it ran good, ran strong for the whole first week. The second week it blew up, and then this past week was another junkyard special, and it kind of let go there at the end of the race too. So hoping we can get it figured out here with a better engine setup.
How much fun was it to be out there racing your cousin, the one guy who, I know you have confidence in everybody you race with, but you knew that no matter what happened, he wasn't going to take you out, and by the same token, he knew you weren't going to take him out.
Yeah, that was really fun. I really don't know what to say about it, because it was a shock to see him, because I seen he was stopped on the front stretch earlier in the race, and I figured he went to the back of the field. I'm surprised he came up through the field as fast as he did and caught me.
And one thing that I like is when one of the Grubbs wins, the whole team, the whole family is down there. And it's just awesome to see the smile on the kids. I mean, you and Jeremy had huge smiles, but your daughter, Jeremy's kids, the Koffler kids, they just had so much pride in that race.
Yeah, I think all of us actually do it for the kids, to be honest with you, because I don't know, it can be very stressful at times, and times you want to give up, but a lot of times you got your kids looking up to you, and they love it more than we do, so that's why we do it.
Now, do you see your kids getting involved into the driver's seat, or?
Well, I'm trying to talk Nicole and letting the kids get go-karts to race, but she isn't on board with that just yet.
Mom's saying no right now.
Yeah, Aubrey's quite upset about that.
Now, how did you get involved in racing?
My brother-in-law's brother, Greg Kelly, raced down at Motordrome in the late models, and my brother-in-law would start picking me up after football practice on Fridays, and I get out and give them guys a hand. Then my brother-in-law bought an old Sunbird, and it sat over there at his farm for the longest time, and he told me, he said, hey, if you want to race it, he said, go get it, and he said, raise it, and that's kind of how that started.
And that's one thing. I think your whole career, you've always been in a Pontiac Sunfire.
Yeah, well, we had that.
You had a Ford Focus at one point, didn't you?
Yeah, that was after we took some time off there for 2 or 3 years, and then got back into it with that car, and then just didn't like it, so we built this Sunfire there for last year.
Now, when you started racing, you mentioned you were with Greg Kelly down at Motordrome Speedway. That was an asphalt track. What pulled you over to the dirt?
Lake Trove was just a lot closer, and I just didn't like traveling the mountain and coming off the mountain that late at night to Jennerstown to the house here, you know.
And one thing we were considering naming this division, instead of modified 4-cylinder, the Grubbs division, because there's you, there's Jeremy, there's Josh, there's Paul Koffler, who's married to a Grubbs, Butch Stewart, who is related to the Grubbs. I mean, you know.
Yeah, there's a
big family down there.
Yeah, there's quite a few of us, you know. I don't know, we just all enjoy it. We all get along fairly well, so why not all do it together?
And it's not just like you guys, it's your dad and your uncle and everybody. You guys all just work together simultaneously on everybody's car. And it's not like, you know, if Paul wins, you guys are mad, or, you know, when you win, Paul came out with his kids, and, you know, just, it seems like you mentioned something earlier. The kids are what keeping you guys together. And it doesn't matter if it's to your daughter, if it's you, Uncle Jeremy, Uncle Josh, or Uncle or Cousin Paul, or whoever, they're all coming out and having fun.
Yeah, that's kind of like how it works. I mean, we all do our own thing throughout the week with work and working on our cars. You know, I don't get to see them guys very much throughout the week, so Friday nights and Saturdays and Sundays we're all together and we go racing and we just hang out.
Now, 4 career wins in the 2 seasons with this Sunfire. What would you like to do? Would you like to move up into the rear-wheel drive cars, or, you know what, you're having fun and you're competitive and it's somewhat affordable, stay with the 4 cylinders?
Yeah, I think we'll have to stay with the 4 cylinders just from the finance side of it. You know, Nicole's a stay-at-home mom. I work 55, 60 hours a week. I got to pay bills here, and my kids have to have toys in a life before I can play. So what's left over, I get to play with this 4-cylinder class.
But you mentioned your kids, and I know your daughter, I think she'd give up all her toys and everything just to keep that race car going.
She probably would. That's funny you say that because last year when the good engine blew up, I gave her $20 there before we went to the racetrack so she could buy stuff. And I said, sis, I think we're done. We don't have the money to build another engine. She said, well, Dad, here's my $20 you gave me earlier. I said, sis, I don't want your money.
How many kids do you have?
Two, my Hunter, my stepson, and then Aubrey, my daughter.
And one thing with your daughter, man, she is the boss of Dale Grubbs Racing.
Yeah, if you ask her who owns the car, she'll tell you she does.
Yeah, she told me that. She's like, I let my dad drive it, but it's mine.
Yeah.
And I think when she gets a little bit older, you're going to have to fight her to get in the driver's seat.
You can have it, her Hunter, if they want it. That's there.
Now, is he into the cars too? Does he have? You want to put him in a go-kart or anything like that?
I tried too, and that's again his mom, and then his dad. He's with his dad too, so that's up. If they will allow it, then yeah, I'm not gonna. If Nicole says yeah and his dad says no, we're not gonna go behind their backs and do it. But it's hard for him to come because he goes to his dad's on the weekends. But now that summer's out, he'll be with us every other Saturday, so we'll have him week to week. They rotate, so he'll be coming more, and then it's tough too because I don't keep the car here at the house. I keep it at my uncle's garage, and he gets a little iffy with a bunch of kids around, the cars on the lifts and stuff. So I can't take him up there that much.
Yeah, you can't blame him. I mean, he's just being a concerned parent.
Yeah. I don't blame him at all for it. But when the car's here, they help. They love it.
And, let's not forget Jeremy. I'm sure he probably got hurt a few times up in that garage.
Yeah, I'm sure a lot of people got some busted knuckles and stuff up there.
Now, who are the people that help you race?
It would be the wife, the kids, my dad. He's a big help. My uncle's a really big help. If it wasn't for him, we really couldn't do it at all. With him, with his knowledge and stuff of things, and the use of his garage, and all the aggravation I cause him. We got the Kofflers. I mean, they're family. I mean, Big Paul, he helps me with just about anything I need. I could call him any time of the day and he'd help me. My mom, she helps out a good bit. My cousin Bobby, he comes to the track with us every week. If it wasn't for him, we wouldn't have the cages and the safety aspect of it because he does all the welding and everything for us. And then my brother-in-law, Brandon, he'll help out a little bit. He helped on the last engine there because my uncle was tied up. There's just a lot of people. You can't do it by yourself.
What about sponsors? I know you have Hodge Transmission.
Yeah, Bobby Hodge, he helps us a good bit. Diamond Towing, he helped out a lot. Fink's Funeral Home, they helped. I got Penn Service over here in Scottsdale, Truck Garage. They help out with whatever I need. So it takes a village to do this, I would say.
Yeah, it's village to raise a child and a field a race car. That'll be that'll be on a T-shirt coming out soon.
Yeah.
Hey, appreciate you taking the time to go for a ride, and I will give you this much: every time you win, it's very interesting. I know last year when you won the first race, it was kind of a DQ, and you didn't get to go out there and celebrate, and you were okay with that. But I remember your daughter was she wanted to go out on that front stretch with her daddy. And then when you had that second win, she got to do that. And then this year, you won on opening night on your own. But I'm sure nothing, and no matter how many wins you have, will compare to coming off turn number 4, you and Jeremy almost side by side, and you winning by I'm telling you, man, if it was really like that bumper cover, I think that's probably what we're close in half of a fender.
That one's pretty sweet. I wish somebody would have a good picture or something of us coming across the checker because that was sweet.
It would have been sweet for Jeremy because you see his car, all you see is about your front bumper V, and but no, that would definitely be a keeper. And you know what? We appreciate you taking the time. Appreciate all that you guys do to help promote the racing. heck, your team is enough to field the kids club by itself. And, that's one thing. I mean, your family and the kids, it don't matter what we need at the track, whether we need somebody maybe to help out with 50-50, they're all willing to volunteer. And, we owe a lot of Latrobe success to the Grubbs, Kofflers, and your village, we'll call them.
Yeah.
And look forward. You get this Saturday off because of the air show, but coming up in 2 weeks, man, you got to get that Sunfire rolling again.
Yeah, we're going to try.
Race fans, now it's time to go for a ride with
Dale, we won't hold
a gentleman who won a career first this past Saturday night at the Latrobe Speedway.
That was Dale Grubbs.
We're
going to talk to the driver of the
Kotchka
2022 season
Cassidy
in the modified 4-cylinders.
Music,
Power
I
the
guess you would
diamond
call
towing,
it.
hot
8C,
transmission.
Mr.
Pontiac
Brandon
number
Doland.
66.
Brandon,
Thanks,
welcome to
Dale.
Ride Along.
Thank you.
Hey, thanks, Howie, for having me tonight on this. I really appreciate it.
Not a problem. We appreciate you taking time and going for a ride with us. Congratulations, man. Great job on that feature on Saturday night. I'm sorry, go ahead.
I appreciate it.
They always say the first one is the toughest. And, man, you've been knocking on the door in the pure stocks for a couple years now. And over the winter, you and Fred decided you wanted to make a move up into the pro stocks. And what, about your fourth or fifth start, you're a feature winner?
Yeah, it was actually a really hard decision moving up without getting my first career win in my old car. We were really working with some real old stuff, and I think the right decision was made. It was a really hard decision. This car fits me really well. I'm really good at driving it. It's fast, and the guys are really fun to race with in this class too.
Now, that new car is what? Chris Schneider built car, right?
Yes, it's actually an older Chris Snyder car. It was Christian Snyder's car. He wrecked this car at PPMS here a while ago. We bought it wrecked, and then we had it all redone. The only thing original on the car is a little bit of the middle of the cage. So it's technically a 2022 Chris Snyder car, but part of it's an older Chris Snyder car.
And that's like what Chris said. I remember I interviewed him one time, and I'm like, how do you make the car fast? Because you take an old one and you just improve on it.
Yeah, we did a lot of improving, a lot of time, and Chris did a lot of fabrication on this car, and all this was new to me. So we spent hours and hours just working beside Chris, learning how everything works, and I really appreciate him showing me how all this works also.
And Chris picked up a win Saturday night down in Pittsburgh, so it was a good night for the Chris Snyder built race cars.
Yeah, I was down there talking to him. I congratulated him. He said it was a great race. I didn't get to watch any of it, but hopefully one year I can make it down there for that Ed Laboon race.
Well, we appreciate you making the toes up to Latrobe as much as you do. And let's talk about the team. You kind of like the odd couple. Your car owner, Fred Kasagi, maybe a year or two older than you, we'll say. And it's like the odd couple. You two are like best friends and, kind of like adopted you basically. And here you are carrying on Fred's racing. I know Fred raced a long time in the senior series and obviously before that. But, how did you get involved in racing?
Long story, but I'll try to put in a little shorter version. Fred's actually 83. I believe it's 83 or 82, and he drove up to last year. He got in the car once a year for a father's race. To make it short, I met him 7-8 years ago. I was just working, and he was looking for some pit crew help. I think I was 13 years old maybe, and I started helping him. It was me and him. I showed him that I had a lot of interest in it and worked my butt off for 3 years. And then he finally just put me in the car, and here we are now.
So he does have a year or two on you. I'm right on that statement.
He's got a lot of years on me.
And I'll tell you what, when he got made to Victory Lane, I'm not sure he had a bigger smile, you or Fred. And I mean, just a great accomplishment to, mesh as well as you two do.
We were actually trying to figure this out here. He hasn't been in Victory Lane since 1965.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, that it was around that era of when the last time he was in Victory Lane.
Well, hopefully it's not another 65 plus years until.
Me either. I really hope not.
Hey, yeah, when it comes to sponsorship, one of your team's main sponsor, you got the towing company in Kochka, but how did you get a national singer?
Cassidy is actually my car owner, so Fred's granddaughter. I'm grateful enough just to have that worked out to where she's likes race cars, and I really didn't have to find her. She was already here with the team when I came around, and I'm grateful enough that she likes me and she wants to support the car, because this car would not be here without what she has done to help.
Now, we talked about everything good so far this year. Let's go back a couple months ago. You were up in that, I believe, this garage that you're in right now, working on your trailer, and unfortunately you had an accident, and we weren't even sure you were going to be able to use your arm again or race, and congratulations on overcoming that.
Yeah, I was actually standing almost the same spot. There's still blood actually stained everywhere from the grinder throwing it around. Actually, when it first happened, they didn't think I was gonna have an arm after it. They were gonna life flight me. They told me they might have to amputate my hand. They weren't sure what was gonna happen. It happened about 7 p.m. at night, and I remember sitting in the ER about 3 a.m. and they still had it wide open, and I couldn't feel nothing. It was a little scary. I had a brand new race car sitting here. I wasn't sure what I was going to be able to do with it. And I had 2 surgeries, some stitches in my artery, and some physical therapy. And here I am. Can't feel a whole lot, but it still works just as good.
What happened?
So I was cutting the ramp on my trailer, and once I got so far through the cut with the grinder, the ramp flexed and broke the wheel of the grinder off and threw the grinder up into my hoodie. And I could not shut the grinder off. So it was inside my hoodie running.
Any other nicks, or just the hand took the damage?
Just my hand, I guess my wrist, and then I got a little cut on my thumb, and that was about it. I still use the same grinder up to this day.
But it makes you appreciate a lot more the success and the fact that, you still have your hand.
It makes you take safety a lot better, and working alone in the garage, because there was no one around when that happened. I had to call 911, and just makes you appreciate everything and how fast everything can change.
And you also had another major accomplishment about 3 weeks ago. You graduated high school. Congratulations.
I appreciate it. I've been doing this for a long time, working in school and trying to work a job to be able to do this, because I pay for some of this stuff too. It's not like this is all handed to me. I work my butt off. Fred pays for a lot of this, and I really appreciate it, but I still like to try to help as much as possible. So I try to do as much as possible to help with the car. So I have to keep a job as much as possible. I had to stay in school, and it's finally nice to get the school off of my back and be able to work full time again.
Now, what does the rest of the year hold? Are you going to keep on trying to do the 2 L tracks, Lernerville on Friday, Latrobe on Saturday?
But as of right now, yes, that's the plan. I'd like to do Lernerville Friday nights, Latrobe Saturdays. Now, this weekend, Latrobe's not running, so I'm either going to go to Pittsburgh or Marion Center. Marion Center's not running us on Saturday currently, but there's a couple guys trying to get them to talk them into running us.
What kind of track do you like better? I know you started in the pure stock at Dog Hollow, I think it was, wasn't it?
Yep.
And now you're racing on the big track of Latrobe. Do you have a preference, big track, small track?
I'll take a big track and heavy all day long over a slick Lernerville track. I don't like my slick tracks. I think it's just more because I grew up on a big track pretty much. I mean, I only ran Dog Hollow for a year and a half before we came to Latrobe. So, I mean, Latrobe's my home track. I grew up racing there. I like my big tracks. You got a lot of time to think of what you want to do going down the straightaways. It's fast, and I'm good there.
What was it like fending off Tommy Dembowski, a guy who last year you actually put him in your car one night? You guys were pretty good friends off the track. And I know in the previous weeks, that car's been fast every night out, but it seemed like you were fighting an issue. And I saw you on Memorial Day, and you said, "Hey, Howie, we figured out what it is, and you keep an eye. You think it's fast now? Wait till you see us this upcoming week." And well, you were definitely right. You pulled out the win.
After we figured out that little problem we had, it was a nightmare. We couldn't figure out the fuel problem. Fought it and fought it. Finally figured it out Friday night at Lernerville. After we thought we had it figured out to begin with. And I never looked back. I mean, I was talking to Tommy. I never heard him or seen him behind me. If he would have showed his nose maybe another foot, I would have drove the car a little harder, but I never knew he was there.
They often say when you're pushing the car, it almost looks like you're not. And that car was just so solid. I mean, you have to have confidence. And one thing that people might not realize is your Charger, pure stock, you all right?
Yep, I'm good.
Is on 8-inch tires. That car behind you is on 10-inch. Did it take any time to adjust to the bigger tires?
No, I thought that was going to actually be a bigger problem when I first started. Doing such a jump and everything being so different. And I think it was just meant to be because I got in that car in my first heat race at Lernerville ETC. I finished second. The car basically drove itself for me.
And it has to feel different when you're going down that straightaway at Latrobe at probably 80 to 100 miles per hour, and you're throwing it into the turn, and now you basically got an extra 8 inches of rubber around the car.
One of my bigger problems with my old car is I tried to drive it like a late model. I tried to set it in the corner and go sideways through the corner. Now, you don't want to be too sideways. You want to be a little straighter because that's just how the car's faster. But I always had that trouble with the old car. So I think that kind of helps me when I got in this car because I was driving it the way I wasn't supposed to drive my old car.
So you already had that driving style down, basically.
Yeah.
And one thing I noticed when you won, there are a lot of your old pure stock guys you raced against coming out to congratulate you, including EJ Rozak. Also out there was Brad Benton. And
yeah, I'm still really good friends with a lot of them guys. Probably EJ, I'd say, would be the closest guy I'm with. He's done a huge amount of stuff to help me with this new car. Between helping me with a hauler, giving me just tips and the simple things that I never realized with this car. Brad, I wasn't expecting him to be there. I really appreciate him showing up. Justin came down. He congratulated me. Dennis Collins came down. He congratulated me. All the Hollis family. I'm really close with all them guys.
And it just shows, you know what, you've accomplished so much, but the fact that your competitors are there to congratulate you, it just shows the class acts they are and the class act you are.
It's the racing community turns out to end up being a big family at the end of the day. Granted, I don't know a lot of people in my new class, so I'm slowly meeting and introducing myself to everyone, but I still talk to everyone in my old class like we just raced together yesterday.
And you mentioned family, you know, your mom, your dad, your two younger brothers were also there to enjoy, as well as the Pope family. And it's kind of neat how you guys are all merging together under the Fred Kasagi Motorsports 8C car.
Yeah, I was very grateful enough to have Cassidy's mother and sister there for the first win of the car. That made them very happy, and I was glad to have them there to be able to see the car in victory lane. My mother, my father, my brothers were all there. They were very happy. That's the first time they've ever been in victory lane.
And first time you were in victory lane too as a driver.
First time I was in victory lane too, yeah.
Hey, why don't we go ahead now and thank everybody who helped make the Fred Kasagi 8C possible. All those sponsors, the pit crew, and anybody else you want to thank.
I got Cassidy. I cannot thank her enough, and her new album, Y'all Alternative, All Visions Media, Static X Radio Reloaded, Kochka's Towing and Son, Rachel Lindsay, Kochka, or I already said Kochka, yeah. SNS Chassis, Advanced Auto Parts of Leechburg, Freddie, my crew chief Isaiah, my girlfriend Taryn, my father, my brother, Fuzzy, he lets me use his garage to work on the car here. Lori and Ashley, they do help with the car. They help wash it here when they do as much as possible to help. J&M Construction, Precision Footings, and I'm pretty sure that's about all of them.
And how special was it to get that first win at what you called earlier your home track, where you learned how to race?
I'm really happy to have my first win there. Is why I started coming back here after I got comfortable in the car. I really wanted my first win to be there because I know a lot of people saw me struggle with my old car, so I wanted to be able to show them what I could do and what I'm capable of, because a lot of people doubted me with moving up with this new car, saying it wasn't a good idea. I shouldn't be put in this car because I did not have any wins in the old car. So I just felt good to prove some of the people wrong that doubted me.
Well, we appreciate your time, and race fans, be sure to keep your eyes on the Cassidy Pope 8C driver, Fireball, Brandon Doland. Thanks, Brandon.
Hey, thank you, Howie, for having me.
Good luck.
Thank you.
Race fans, that's going to conclude another Ride Along with Howie, sponsored by SMB Promotion and Joe's Auto Body and 24-Hour Towing. I'd like to thank everybody for tuning in and watching. Don't forget, this upcoming Saturday, we are off for the air show. But coming up in 2 weeks, we added the crate late models onto that show, and we'll resume racing at Latrobe. While we have a chance, I'd like to go ahead and thank all of our track sponsors, which include the following: SMB Promotion, Joe's Auto Body and Towing, Specialty Metals, K2 Engineering, Rock Auto, Seal Tight, Stone & Company, Vinyl Destination. And please support all those companies that support racing to keep us going. Have a great week, and don't forget, we'll see you in 2 weeks at the races.